Set them clock back tonight, 1 hour. And go back this night. The clock's got to go back 1 hour. Yeah.
Hate it.
Our time stands as 8:30. Gonna say good morning to Brother Jimmy Collins and the Collins Samuel Ryan Rains, also Mama the Brown Girl, Elder Charles Brown. And good morning goes out to you. Thank you for tuning in early. Saturday morning gospel start time. Our time stands 8:30. We'll switch over to Studio B and say good morning to you, Brother Michael Jenkins.
Good morning to all. This is Michael Jenkins. Welcome to PD Sports Wrap today. I just ran across something just now that was very interesting. A young man by the name of Caden Bethea. Crystal Leonard is his mother, and she posted a video of him last night. Actually, I saw this on the end zone when I watched the replays of the end zone this morning. And let me see if I can play this for you. Caden Bethea getting a touchdown last night to help Wilson beat Darlington. Here we go.
For that one, the Wells Trophy. Big deal. It is. Third quarter, Tristan Howard hits Caden Bethea. The pitch and catch increases Wilson's lead on Darlington 20-12. Later, though, in the quarter, we get more act. These two always play for that one.
So that was Caden Bethea last night as he got a big touchdown for his team to help them beat rival Darlington. Last night, Marion didn't play, Mullins didn't play. I think Marion played Thursday night, I believe. And Mullins finished off their last game a week ago. So without further ado, we're going to take a look at some scores real quick here. And then from there, we are going to look at some individual teams and where they sit right now. Dylan, Mullins. Actually, Mullins is not in the playoff either. So someone told me this morning it's officially basketball season in Marion County. So I guess it is. But the football season itself has wound down. Okay. We'll be looking at the playoffs starting next weekend for all classifications. But let me give you some scores from last night. You had the battle of the Hilton Head Skeezer type schools as Hilton Head Christian beat Hilton Head Prep 33-21. You had Northwood Academy over Heathwood Hall 39-20. Augusta beat Providence Athletes 20-14. Calhoun Falls got beat by Whitmire 58-42. Lake Marion over Edisto 28-8. Chesterfield got shut out by rival Sherrard 51-0. Ridgeview over Blythewood 39-7. Cross, a team that's going to have to be reckoned with down there in the Low Country, they beat Baptist Hill 34-0. What's up, Randy? I tried to call you last week, man. I want to. Hey, Randy, you want to chime in this morning? But I don't know if you want to. But yeah, I thought about you last week. Looking at some other scores. Fort Mill over Nation Ford 42-35. Oceanside Collegiate beat Orangeburg Wilkinson. Wow, blew them out 49-13. Oceanside is probably a favorite going into the Class 3A state tournament. They've been tough, but Loris is out there, Dillon is out there. There's some other teams out there that are going to be, formidable as well. Dutch Fork beat Irmo 28-21 last night. Lee Central got beat by C.A. Johnson 30-20. Hunter Kennard Tyler beat Ridge Spring Monetta 28-0. Greenwood Christian over Spartanburg Christian 23-6. Scotts Branch shut out Military Magnet 46-0. West Florence over Spring Valley 34-8. Crescent beat Pendleton 28-21. Let's see. Burke got shut out by Academic Magnet 45-0. Loris blanked Ainer 54-0. Central over North Central 42-7. Marlboro County got back on track with a big win last night over Waccamaw, knocking them off 52-14. Marion played East Clarendon, and they got beat up pretty bad, 42-14 there. Dorman beat Eastside 49-12. Good morning, Miss Pamela Owens. How are you doing today? Blue Ridge 43, Berea 0. And looking over on the other side here, Bishop England beat Colleton County 55-0. Gaffney shut out Wade Hampton 39-0. Batesburg Leesville nipped Saluda 35-34. Daniel 33, Greer 7. Spartanburg 20, Riverside 19. Lamar and Louisville, they were battling for a first place in the conference, I reckon, but Lamar took care of them 20-14. Wilson nipped Darlington 28-26 in that big rivalry game. Myrtle Beach, North Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach is a winner there, 29-23. Atlantic Collegiate has really kind of gotten themselves together toward the end of the season. They got another win, beat King Street 21-14. Northwestern 51, Indian Land 13. Greenville got beat by T.L. Hanna 27-24. Andrew Jackson shut out Buford 49-0. Hilton Head beat that's Buford, Buford. Andrew Jackson beat them 49-0. And Hilton Head beat Buford 53-20. Hartsville got blown out last night by South Florence. They're both in the playoffs, though. Travelers Rest got beat by Pickens. So those are all the scores from last night. Let's take a look over at some of the local teams and how they are doing and how they are fixed for the playoffs. And you have Loris here in Region 5. And right now, Loris finished the season at 5-0 in the conference, and they're also unbeaten at 10-0 in the conference. Dillon finished second, and they owe that to that very close loss they had to Loris several weeks ago. Dillon finished at 4-1, 7-3 for second place. Marlborough County with the win last night, they get into third place, so they'll be in the playoffs as well. Waccamaw is fourth. They were 2-3 and 6-4 over. Waccamaw didn't do badly this year. Aner, they won one conference game, and they were 3-7 overall. Georgetown brings up the rear as usual with a 0-5 conference mark and a 0-10 overall record. So Georgetown continuing to have struggles down there. They got a beautiful field. I noticed last night there's artificial turf and everything. How about get a football team though? I mean, all those things are beautiful and attractive and impressive, but you ain't got no team. You won no games this year. Anyway, let's look at some of our other locals. South Florence is the belle of the ball this year for the PD area. They finished the conference at 6-0, and they were 9-1 overall. They were followed by Hartsville, who had an outstanding season. Well, I wouldn't say outstanding, but they got off to a little slow start, and they kind of got it together a little bit. And they finished, 5-1, second in the conference, 6-4. They were followed by Wilson at 3-3, 6-4. Lower Richland 3-3, 6-4. Crestwood 3-3, 6-4. Darlington came in at 1-5 in the region and 3-7 overall. Lakewood 0-6 and 0-10. So you're seeing quite a few teams this year not having won games. Okay, we got one right here in this county. Marion High School has won no games this year, and we'll probably talk about that a little bit more later. But it's not a good season for football in Marion County and Marion High School especially. And this is the region right here for Marion and Mullins, and that region, which is 7-2A, and it was won by Manning, and they finished with a 5-1 record. Excuse me. 7-3 overall. Atlantic Collegiate, a team that wasn't looking very good early on. In fact, let me go and see what they did and see how they kind of turned things around for themselves. Okay. So Atlantic Collegiate Academy lost their first 4 games of the season. First 5, actually. They got beat by somebody named, that's Mountain View Prep from in the upstate. They got beat 34-0. They lost to Johnsonville 28-24. Now, Johnsonville's a single-A school. So it wasn't looking good at that point. Then they got beat by another single-A school, Louisville, 20-6. Then they got handled by Mullins, 38-14, before they got beat by Oceanside Collegiate, 47-0. And then they played Marion and Lake City. They beat both of them. They lost to Manning, and then they finished the season off with 2 wins. Whoa. And one was a win against East Clarendon, who was a team that was expected. Well, they were leading the conference most of the year until they stubbed their toes against Atlantic Collegiate Academy. And after that, it was a problem. Let's see. Atlantic Collegiate. Yeah. East Clarendon, it looked like they were going to be the team to beat in that conference. But the loss to Atlantic Collegiate really did them in. They still finished with an 8-2 record, 4-2 overall. Mullins seems like they were kind of on their way to doing something this year, but it fizzled. Let's take a look at where things went for Mullins, where things went wrong. Because I was a little bit optimistic early on. Okay, so they lost to Lakeview to start the season. Then they beat Green Sea 30-14 before losing by 2 to Latta. Atlantic Collegiate, they beat them 38-14. They beat Marion 30-0 before losing to, oh boy. Wow. This is how not to end a football season, or how not to end a successful football season. Because if you end the season like that, like this, it's not going to be successful. Mullins lost the last 4 games of the season. They got beat by Lake City 30-28. They got beat by Manning 53-20. They got beat by East Clarendon 34-14, and then followed that up with the exact same count loss to Kingstree the next week. So they had a very good opportunity here to do something. But when you lose your last 4 games in a row, 5 of your last 6, not good. So that's Mullins. They are finished for the season as well. It's basketball now. Kingstree managed to finish at 3-3, 4-6 overall. It's not too bad. And then their neighbors to the north, Lake City, came in with the exact same conference record of 3-3, but they were 3-7 in the conference. Mullins came in after Lake City at 2-4. So Marion and Mullins basically finished in the cellar. The 2 Marion County football teams are the last 2 teams in the standings in Region 7. So I guess it's safe to say that it's not been a good season of football in Marion County. I think that'd be a safe statement, don't you? Okay, next. Let's take a look at Region 6A, 6-1A. And that's where Lakeview, Latta, Johnsonville, Carvers Bay, that's where they live. So the winner and new champion of the conference is going to be Carvers Bay. Carvers Bay finished with a perfect 6-0 conference mark and with a perfect 10-0 overall record. Johnsonville came in second at 4-1, 7-2. Latta, they've had a pretty decent season. They finished 7-2, 3-2 in the conference to get them third place. Lakeview, not been a great year for Lakeview. Said that they played 8 games and they went 4-4, 2-3 in the conference, which is 1 game ahead of Hannah Pamplico, who finished at 1-4, but 2-6 in the conference. Green Sea Floyd 0-5. They didn't win a game this year, but I'm sure nobody down there is screaming. You remember the run that Green Sea just had recently. I think I'm indigestion here, folks. Okay, so Carvers Bay, top dog. Looking at the South Florence or Region 5 4A, and South Florence 6-0. They finished 9-1. Did I do this one already? I think I did, but I'll do it again. 6-0, 9-1 overall. They've only given up 132 points this year while scoring 450. So that's impressive. And they're on a 7-game win streak. And last week I said something to the effect of South Florence going back to the championship and they'll win this year. Well, they won last year. I think I got it confused with the year before when they lost. But South Florence is going for their second straight Class 4A crown. Hartsville comes in after them at 5-1 and 6-4, and Hartsville did well this year. A lot of people didn't expect Wilson to do as well as they've done this year. They changed coaches. Let's take a look at what they did last year. 24-25. Okay, last year Wilson was 1-9. So they definitely turned that around, considering where they've come to this year. So Wilson seems to be on their way back. I don't think anybody, maybe except Wilson fans, expected them to come in with a 6-4 mark this year after 1-9 last year. So they will be going to the playoff, and good for them. Now, let's take a look at Marion's season. And they finished the region at 0-6, it says here. But to Marion's credit, they played a brutal schedule this year. I don't know whose idea it was to play this schedule, but it was a terrible idea, with all due respect. You finished 1-9 last year, and this is who you start your season with? Lakeview, Latta, West Florence, Dillon. Really? I'm trying to understand, would I schedule Dillon after coming off 1-9? No. My team would have to really be highly regarded any year that I play Dillon. Any year. And Dillon wasn't great this year, but neither was Marion. In fact, 61-6. That's the difference between Marion and Dillon right now. I wouldn't have played them. Do I really want to have West Florence on my schedule after 1-9? No. West Florence, 51. Marion, 16. Now, I can't really fault them for the Latta and Lakeview games. You like to feel like you got a chance against those two most years, at least competitively. I saw the Lakeview game. It was a winnable game for Marion, but they didn't win. They came up 26-13 on the L side. And I didn't see this ladder thing coming. I didn't see ladder beating Marion by a score of 54-19. And even though it turned out that ladder was pretty decent this year. So, I mean, they were no match for Mullins this year. I mean, at least Mullins comes away knowing that they beat Marion this year in football. Shut them out. So I don't know where Marion goes from here. I'm sure that there's got to be some things in place to kind of set this thing on another path. Because right now, I mean, you've literally gone off of a cliff. At 1-9 and 0-10, you're over the cliff. So therefore, I'm sure right now, the Brain Trust is doing what they have to do to avoid a repeat next year of this futility. So it ain't good at all. Let's see. What else do we have here? Boy, it's been brutal. Let's take a look at rankings and see where everyone is on this last week of the season. Basketball season is about to get underway, folks. It's getting ready to happen. Hoops is on the menu, coming up very soon. But I won't really dwell on that this week. But you know it's coming. Okay. These are your top teams in the state as we complete the final regular season week of the season. South Point right now is the number one team in the state according to Max Prep. They are followed by Northwestern, Dutch Fork, Irmo, Indian Land, which comes in at number 5. And then you have South Lawrence, Carolina Forest, Oceanside Collegiate Academy, Greenwood, White Knoll is the 10th ranked team, and they are followed by James Island, Ridgeview, Dorman, North Augusta, T.L. Hanna, Somerville, Sumter is at 17, Stratford is at 18, Gray Collegiate Academy is 19. Camden is the 20th ranked team, Berkeley is 21, James F. Burns is 22. Belton Honea Path is 23, Ashby Ridge is 24, and Gaffney is the 25th ranked team in the state of South Carolina as we go into playoff mode. Now, my state rankings, not my state rankings, but my PD sportswrap top 5 this week. Not much of a change here, if any. South Florence is number 1. Carvers Bay is number 2. Loris is number 3. Dillon is 4. And Hartsville is 5. Should Hartsville have dropped out after getting beat by South Florence last night? No. I think they're good. Now, Dillon and Loris, it was a pretty interesting game this year. Pretty hotly contested. Both teams have similar talent, especially at the skill positions. Dillon had every chance to win that game against Loris. But the fumble on, I guess, the 1 yard line by Dillon, in which the Loris player scooped it up and ran it back like 100 and something yards for a touchdown. That beat Dillon that night. Dillon did recover. They played a pretty decent schedule as well. North Carolina schools, Wilson, who was decent this year. So they played a pretty decent schedule. They didn't play patsies. I mean, maybe one or two patsies in there, but not a lot. So Dillon is now primed for a second seed in the tournament. And we don't know who that's going to be yet. I haven't seen an updated bracket. I'm sure that'll come out sometime today. I wish it would come out earlier so I could have it. But they're not here to please me, are they? I guess. Now, baseball is happening in the World Series, and we're going to touch on that a little bit right now. It's like, I don't want the Dodgers to win, okay? I'm rooting all the way in for the Blue Jays. Of course, they lost last night, and now it is a Game 7 on tap. But I think the Blue Jays can take them. They certainly did it to the Yankees, so go Blue Jays. The NBA season has started, and it started kind of crazy. You got the gambling thing going on, but I asked the NBA, you guys invited the mob into this thing. You invited gambling in. So you think you're going to be able to invite gambling in, but somehow those forces out there that are illegal are going to stay away. Yeah, you really believe that. So in a lot of ways, I blame the NBA brain trust for bringing in this gambling element. Now, I'm listening to sports radio all during the day, and you will hear FanDuel or some ad for some other gambling outfit comes on. And after that commercial is played, and then they give you a disclaimer. Oh, if you need help for gambling, you can call these people. Really? So you encourage them to gamble, but at the end of the commercial, you have a disclaimer saying, we'll help you if you got a gambling problem. Can't have it both ways, guys. Okay? You just can't have it both ways. So now you find yourself in a big mess with this gambling scandal, and it's going to get worse. And it's going to get worse for all sports. For years, pro sports has kept the gambling element out as much as possible. But now the NFL, they putting teams in Vegas. You're putting teams in Vegas. Sin City is what Vegas is known as. But you want to bring one of your family-friendly teams there. Like somehow everything is going to be hunky-dory. It's not. The mob is a powerful thing. The mob have been running gambling stuff forever. That's what they do. But now you're going to invite yourself and your whole league to be involved with that. Come on, guys. Stop it. Now, the NBA season has gotten off to a good start. Otherwise, there's some good play out there. The Warriors, I'm very impressed with what they've done so far. Some other teams as well. The Lakers have looked good, even though they've played without their two main stars, LeBron and Luka. Luka's back now. LeBron is not back yet. A lot of people think LeBron is faking an injury for various other reasons. I would have no reason to not believe that. Because before 2 weeks ago, we heard nothing about no injuries. And now all of a sudden, he got a bad back. Come on, guys. So, I could be wrong, but I think this is more fake LeBron James stuff, which he's kind of known for. The Knicks are doing okay. You're hearing a lot more talk now about Brunson having to give the ball up and stop being a hog. I've been saying that for 2 years. The Knicks have a lot of talent on that team, and the ball needs to be distributed. But we'll see how that works out. Football, the Dallas Cowboys defense is terrible. They can't win with that kind of defense. The Ravens came back the other night and played a decent game that they won, and they were in trouble. Lamar Jackson looked good. The Giants, they look okay, but I don't think they're going anywhere. Philadelphia Eagles, still looking good. I'm still predicting Philadelphia Eagles, Baltimore Ravens, Super Bowl. I know it sounds a little far-fetched right now, but I believe that the Ravens will not lose another football game the rest of the season, regular season. They'll get to the Super Bowl, them and the Eagles, and I think this time Lamar Jackson will get his first Super Bowl. Okay, so I'm being a little bit over the top, but go Ravens, go Eagles, and goodbye. See you guys next week. Later.